Hi there guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna Sophia for those of you that are new here, and we have another Christmas video, so let's get right into it. In this video, I'm gonna share with you guys some of the recent goodies that I picked up from IKEA to make this really simple yet beautiful holiday tablescape on a budget. Before I start getting into all of the DIYs and the hacks, I want to talk about the inspiration and take you guys along with me in IKEA. They had just brought all of their holiday and Christmas decor, and it's just such an inspiring space because they give you so many different options and variety. Please do keep in mind this is not a complete tour of IKEA or a total collection of everything that they brought out for the holiday season. This is just with a focus on hosting and entertaining. It goes without being said that IKEA does a Scandinavian style and minimal style in general so well, and their holiday collection was absolutely no exception to that rule. But I do feel that it gets a little bit pricier once it's exclusive to their collection. So like this hand towel was $6.99. I've seen people use it as a placemat. Also, I've seen people hack these dish towels as napkins. So there's such a variety of different things that you can do to make it a little bit more affordable. But what really impressed me was this tablescape, and this is what I gained a lot of my inspiration from. Right now we are at my mom's because my husband is deployed for COVID-19 relief, as we're both nurses. And I knew she had these white plates, so I wanted to kind of take a lot of inspiration from that. And actually what they used as a tablecloth was a curtain from IKEA. So I'll show you guys a little bit later on in the video what I do to a similar curtain that I found from IKEA. So I knew I already had so many of those glass pillar candle vases. You guys have seen me use those so many times. So once I saw these pillar candles, I was like, that's perfect. The flame will be protected, but it'll look really beautiful. Now I just want to show you guys how I'm going to execute all the things that I bought and picked up from IKEA and how it all comes together in this DIY tablescape. And as I mentioned earlier, we saw IKEA use that tablecloth, aka a curtain. So I gained inspiration from that and seeing them do that, and I decided to use their Tibist curtains, which were a little bit more expensive than the other ones that they had shown, but I thought it was still pretty affordable at $34.99 for 2 panels. Because it's just so much fabric, it ends up being the best deal possible. Each panel is 57 by 98 inches, so one of them I'm going to use just for the tablecloth, and then the other you're gonna see me make some napkins to match it. The first thing I had to do was remove the part that would go typically on a curtain rod. I'm just using these serrated scissors that prevents fraying before I pass it through my sewing machine. Also, you just want to make sure that you're ironing your fabric before you feed it through your sewing machine, just because you want to make sure that everything is going to be nice and even and lay flat so you get the cleanest cut. And now it's just time to pass it through the sewing machine. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can use fabric adhesive or whatever you have on hand. And now with the tablecloth out of the way, it's just time to focus on the centerpiece. I'm actually going to be using the Sort Sew Runner Rug for only $3.99 as the base of our centerpiece because I didn't want the runner to run from one end of the table to the other, as there's going to be little kids on those ends and I wanted everybody to be nice and safe. So I'm just going to iron it as I did with our tablecloth. I did find these pine sprigs outside at my mom's, so I put them in some Dollar Tree glass vases. And then we also picked up all those pillar candles, so I thought I would just put those in the glass vases as well. As I mentioned earlier, $1.99 for 4 candles is actually better than the dollar store. So I think these came together so beautifully. And as you can see, once you start adding all of those pieces together, everything just looks really simple but beautiful. And that was really the style that I was really trying to achieve. And as I mentioned earlier, with the other panel from the Tibist curtains, we are going to be making some napkins out of those. So it's a really affordable way to get a tablecloth and 6 napkins for only $34.99. And also keep in mind, I still have tons of fabric left over. If I want to make a holiday pillow or whatever else I want to make, I have the fabric for it. So all I'm doing here is I'm taking an old napkin and just kind of setting it on top of the curtain and cutting just a little bit around that border to make sure that I have enough room when I'm sewing. And again, using my serrated scissors. I like these scissors a lot because they do prevent fraying, and I think they do a pretty good job. So now I'm just pinning around the sides. What I'm doing here is I'm just pinning about every 2 to 3 inches just to make it a little bit easier to feed through the first round, because after you do this hem, you're gonna wanna do another hem as well to make it nice and seamless. And again, I just want it to be as straight as possible, just feeding it through that first round and then folding it over to make sure that it's nice and straight as can be. Obviously, you're making them yourself, so don't be super critical if it doesn't come out exactly perfect. I doubt anybody will even care, but it's just a nice way to save a little bit of money, and I think they look pretty good. I mean, they're pretty straight for the most part, so that's what I was really trying to achieve. A sewing machine does come in handy when you have to make multiples of the same thing, but if you don't have a sewing machine, it's not a big deal. Just use some fabric tape and the job is done. And now that our napkins are all done, I'm just folding them up. I decided to just wrap some twine around them. You could use one of those little napkin holders if you have that. I didn't have any, so I just decided to make my own. And then taking more of those little pine sprigs, and that is it. I think it came together really beautifully for a really affordable price. And my last little IKEA hack is I actually have 2 of these fur rugs. I believe they're called the Wren's rugs. They're kind of expensive for what they are just because they're so small, and they're $29.99 each. But I had 2 of them, so I thought, you know what, why don't I just put them on the backs of the end chairs on the table just to add a little bit more of a cozy touch. And honestly, it made such a huge difference. So if you have anything like this in your house already, try it out, see if you like it. I really think it looks so beautiful and would totally recommend it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, because I post home decor and DIY content every single week, and I hope I see you next Sunday. Bye.